what inspired you to make this movie?
Well, many things, you know, older people being appreciated. I wanted to write about millennials. I wanted to talk about the startup culture. I'm fascinated by it. I love to shop online myself, and I wanted to find out how all that works. Stay-at-home dads, Brooklyn. There was just a lot that I wanted to talk about and write about in this movie, and I was happy. It took me a while to figure out how to weave it all together, and I wanted to write a friendship movie, not a romantic relationship for once, and I enjoyed that very much. It was really writing their friendship that was the motor for me as a writer. I loved writing them. I loved Ben and Jules and their dynamic.
Well, what I love is the dynamic of this sort of a role reversal that
yes.
slowly reverses.
Mentor becomes mentee, yes.
So can you talk about that?
Yeah, sure. You know, I think it takes him by surprise that when he comes into her world that he says this line early, you know, I want to be needed. It's part of what he's looking for again. He wants to have a connection, and he wants to have that work part of him back. But he also mentions he'd like to be needed, and once I wrote that line, I thought that's a pretty important part of his character. And as it turns out, all the characters need him, from the youngest to Jules. And I'm sorry, I forgot your initial question. What was it? I'll get back. I'll circle back.
No, you're fine. You keep going.
Okay. Yeah, but if I forget the question, I don't know how to answer.
Well, let me ask you another question.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It happens after number 29 walks in the room.
You're dealing with really two wonderful actors, and one of them is actually a legend. What
Which
makes
one? No, okay.
what makes him a legend, would you say?
Well, partially he's a legend because he has what so many actors today will never, ever have. They're never going to be in The Godfather Part 2. They're never going to be Raging Bull. They're never going to be Taxi Driver. Those kind of movies are not happening at the moment, right? So these wonderful actors don't get a chance to be in those kind of films with great movie directors. So he started in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, and he got an opportunity to do that great work, and he did it masterfully, and he became an iconic legend, partly because he's so brilliant and partly because he worked with brilliant people that gave him brilliant material. And these poor kids today, you know, they're all dying to be a superhero. This is not great acting, I'm sorry. It's not. But it's what they're making, so it's what they want to be in.
How young people today, with new actors, and comparing him with Bob, how do they approach acting differently? What's the difference?
Well, a lot of the kids in my movie are very young and brand new, and so they haven't come from theater, and most of them worked in a couple TV shows, so they're very new at acting. So what is the difference? You know, they're very instinctive, which is what acting takes, so they have that in common, but they don't have a lot of training, and I think they learned a lot watching him, actually, and seeing how he approaches the scene and the way he really knows the screenplay, and he's not messing around with the words like they tend to do. You know, they think it's okay to say it this way or it's not. It's okay to say it the way it's written, you know. So I think they learned certain protocol of set protocol from him as well.